All right, I'm Beck Lane. This is Studio 120, and behind me are two paintings I've been working on, the next set of portrait duos. We've got Toulouse-Lautrec, which I'm still laying out. I've got a lot further to go, but I'm still laying it out. We've got the entire figure. The entire figure of Toulouse-Lautrec will be fitting in there. And then we've got me, which I got a little obsessive over today. Yesterday afternoon and then all day today. I've been doing a lot of shaping and reshaping in this one, but now I'm reasonably happy, so I can go back with Toulouse, start working on Henri's portrait. As you can see, the surface that Henri is on is a little bit taller, maybe 3 inches taller than mine. That's what I wanted because he has loomed so large in my life that I wanted him bigger. I can't remember, I used to know all this stuff. I think he was like a little over 4 feet tall. I'm 5, I think I've shrunk, so I'm like 5'5". But the discrepancy in height doesn't matter. It is the importance in my life as an artist, and also his importance in the art world that I want to express. With this particular reference material, the photograph, the original photograph was taken when I was, I think, 18 years old. I was either 17 or 18 years old on a class trip. We went to the Boston Museum School of Fine Arts. We'd been to the Museum of Fine Arts, the Gardner Museum in Boston, and then we went to the Museum School of Fine Arts. And behind me, in that room, we were kind of wandering around, and behind me in that room was my friend Christy Beckner, and Christy had her camera and snapped that photograph. It's the only print that I know of, and although I've tried to be careful, it is pretty torn. It's pretty torn up, so I keep taking photographs and using those as reference material instead of putting my goober hands all over it. Anyway, the photograph was taken in the basement of the Boston Museum School of Fine Arts in one of their painting studios, and I'll show you again. And I mentioned this before, but that was the first time I felt like I was home. I felt like I was home. And it's taken me, so that was, I was 17, 18, so now we're 40 years later, roughly 40 years later. And in between that photograph of me going, oh, I'm home. I'm home. And now, we're a whole bunch of stages of me. You know, I went to college for a little while, getting extremely burnt out to the point I couldn't pick up a pencil, let alone a brush. It was 10 years, I think, maybe longer before I started drawing again or doing anything again. I was so burnt out from the whole experience of not knowing who I wanted to be. The person in this painting, the person in that photograph, knew that they felt like home, but once they left that room, or left the museum at all, or anywhere where there was art, they didn't feel at home. I didn't feel at home in a classroom, on the street, anywhere. So it was over 10 years before I picked up a pencil again, I think, except for maybe once in a while I'd get drunk and draw something stupid. But it's been decades. It's been decades of me looking at that photograph, and it has only occurred to me in doing this particular painting, this self-portrait of the back of my head, two things I absolutely abhor, that I've realized it wasn't the setting. It wasn't really the Boston Museum School of Fine Arts. It wasn't really in that room. I'm trying to figure out how to put it. It wasn't the actual physical location that made me feel at home. It was just seeing that there were other people like me, other people who wanted badly to be artists, painters, really. It's taken me 40 years, but I've realized in doing this that little room in that little setting set me on a path to find myself, which sounds so ridiculous. And it's been decades of me going back and forth and doing other things and playing tug of war and also being like, I'm awesome. Let me, do piddly ass little lighthouses and tchotchkes for you. Because I'm such a great artist, I can, paint a fish or whatever. I'm not putting this well. I've lost my words. I had this all written out in my head, all laid out. But I remember that moment. I remember the smell of the paint and the varnishes and everything, and just going, I'm home. And by home, I meant destiny. This is my destiny. This is my life. I just realized that. Because in between doing retail jobs and pretending I was an artist and really faking it for a long time and, pretending I could do stuff like this. In my mind I could do it, but in actuality I couldn't because I didn't apply myself. I didn't put in any effort at all. I wanted it all given to me. In between all that and maturing emotionally and growing and therapy and not drinking helped too, but somewhere in there, I managed to find my path. Oh my God, I hate cliche. I managed to find my way here. Really, that was 17, 18 years old. It was at 42. I was working for Trader Joe's for a while as their art department. But I think it was after I injured myself, maybe 43, 44. Oh no, I was 42. I had braces on my arms from working for Trader Joe's. I had injuries to my arms and had surgeries. I just decided I was going to paint, and so I kept sticking paintbrushes in my bandages and braces on my arms, and I could paint for 15 to 30 seconds, and then that was it. Then I'd have to drop them for a while, and then pick them back up and do it again. But I just decided to become the artist I always wanted to be. And when I was painting with bandages and braces and, in 15 to 30 second intervals, I was doing these figure paintings from black and white photographs and fish and lighthouses, this stuff that I hate. But when I got better, and it was about a 6 to 7 year recovery, I was told I'd never use my arms again. But 6 to 7 years later, moved to New Bedford, bought a roll of canvas, unrolled it, and poof, that was it. I just decided I'm leaving hometown. I'm going to become the artist that I always wanted to be. And that's what that means to me. It was a long time between that and this. A lot of diversion, a lot of alcohol, drugs, a lot of things. Life went on. Life occurred. But I cannot believe I reached it. 40 years later, not I reached it, but I became the artist I always wanted to be. Or I'm almost there anyway, sort of, kinda. but it took a lot of hard work. And Henri started it for me. He's the troublemaker here. He's the protagonist, bad boy. There was a lot of stuff I was going to say. I kind of forgot it because I'm sweaty and I'm out of mineral spirits. So I got to shower and run to the store. We are now on day 3 of no shower. So I got to shower. You know, when I was standing there in that studio looking at all that stuff, I didn't even know I didn't know what it meant to be an artist. I had no clue. Not a clue. And I was at the Boston Museum School for about 1.5 years, and I hated it, and I never got to paint. And then I went to Vesper George School of Commercial Art, I thought, but Vesper George School of Art, as it turns out. And we didn't paint there either. What a shame. And we had world-class painters as instructors, but they weren't really teaching so much. To me, anyway. So, I wonder if I'm better off that no one taught me. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to share that all with you. I think I am. I had to find my own way. I had to fight to get where I am on my own. With myself. I had to learn drive, determination, passion, poignancy, our new word. I had to learn it all. I had to learn what it was like to starve, to literally starve, to be able to buy paint, what it's like to not be able to pay rent and have to sweat over that. And all of the lessons have brought me to a place where I'm pretty proud of my abilities. So I got to work on a bunch of stuff because you can still see the black and white underneath coming through in weird places, but I've got to go get some more mineral spirits. I'm working off mud. Mud, where is it? Mud, I tell you. Mud. Plus I'm sweaty and smelly. And my neighbors are now avoiding me because pew. Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to share little bits. Just little bits. This is reminded me of a lot of things, a lot of bad stuff, which I'm always happy to share. A lot of weird stuff. But I've been painting this for several hours today and thinking, I didn't know anything. I knew nothing. And I had no one to hold my hand. I had no guidance at all. I wish I could reach back in time and grab that person and go, come on, I got you. But that's why we do these videos. If I can help, holy moly, what is going on with my mop? If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section or email me, and all the links are down below. You can, all the links to my website, to contact me are down below. I'm always happy to help. I don't want you to go through decades like I did. Decades of feeling lost. The only thing you need to have is the drive and the desire, and the ability to listen is awfully helpful. But anyway, I'm Beck Lane. This is Studio 120. If you'd like to help support Studio 120 and all my wackiness, and maybe help buy me soap to lose, who didn't like bathing all that much either. There's several ways you can help support. One is through Patreon. Another is through Cash App or PayPal. We take tips through Cash App or PayPal, or go to TeePublic, T-E-E, Public. And there's a storefront with all kinds of artwork on it, printable on t-shirts, etc. Patreon is monthly support. Monthly support starts at $5 a month, goes up from there. $5 a month on up to buying a painting. All the links for everything are down below. Anyway, Sweaty McBetty's gonna go use some soap. Gonna go Scrubby McDubby. How's that? All right, ciao, ciao. Ready, Carrie? Here we go. Meow, 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 boink.